Special thanks to Anchor for distributing my podcast through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, and Castbox. With my podcast, we're going to be bringing you discussions and personal commentary on music, entertainment, celebrities, politics, love, health, and happiness. So do you want the tea? Well, simply talk with TURKBISH. Just talk with me.
I spend time and I spend energy and I spend effort and I spend everything I have, every fiber of my being to give people quality.
Lord, they done went down there to the Oscars and showed the hell out. What in the hell is going on with Will Smith and Chris Rock? The legendary Will Smith and the legendary Chris Rock on the Oscars. Two black men going at it. Well, not going at it, but you know what I mean. We're going to talk about that a little later, but I want to welcome you guys back to an all-new episode of Talk with Turk. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. Thank y'all for listening to the last episode I put out a few days ago. I knew y'all were waiting and couldn't wait to hear what I had to say, for the past month or so, because I have been quiet. But bitch, we are back and the tea is hot. It is piping hot. I have so much that I want to discuss on today's episode, and I think we should definitely get into it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to do a beginning segment like I usually do, where I talk to you guys for a little bit, try to give you some good words of advice or some encouragement. We're going to leave that for later. I'm going to play some music between this segment and the next segment, which might be the last segment, but y'all already know what it is. Do you want the tea? Well, simply talk with TURKBISH. Just talk with me. We're going to get into it. So look, last night at the Oscars, it went down. It went down between Will Smith and Chris Rock. Chris Rock got on stage and made light of Jada Pinkett Smith's hair and her alopecia, but he did not know at the time. He did not know at the time when making the joke. But you just never know how far a joke can go and how it can hurt people. And you're standing there in front of this woman's face and making that joke, and she might be suffering with something. Now, in the beginning, Will Smith did look like he was laughing when the joke was made, but Jada was not laughing at all. And that's on video. She was not laughing at all when he made it. She looked like, oh, that was very poor taste. Like, I cannot believe he just made light of that. But if you know the history of Chris Rock, he has, name-checked Jada a couple of times in their career. Given him, Will Smith and Jada have all been cool for years. They have multiple pictures together. You just never know how jokes may land. And the joke didn't land, but what landed was Will Smith's hand going across his face. Like, are we serious? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play that little clip for y'all so y'all can see for yourself. Well, hear for yourself, because obviously we don't have the video. I do have access to do a video podcast, but I have not got my production and everything set up with where I'm living. So when that time comes, we're going to get into some more things even better, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and play this clip for you, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it, break down a little bit more about it.
Y'all got to see it. It's really good. You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Uh-oh. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay. So we are here to give a documentary out, to give an Oscar out for Best Documentary. Now, the beauty of documentaries, because they make you, when you watch one, you feel smart. Like you watched like you read a book or something. But all you really did was get high and watch Netflix. So here we go. The documentaries, the nominees are, let's just go to the nominees. Ascension, Jessica Kingdon, Kira Simon Kinner.
Chris Rock was on stage. He was up to no good. Started making trouble in Will's neighborhood. Got in one little fight and he exited south. He said,
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was
All right, you guys. So, did y'all like that little comedic relief I just gave y'all with that little Fresh Prince song? I am going to name this episode Fresh Prince, like Prints, if you get what I'm saying. That is just so funny to me. But, okay, so there's many layers to this thing, you guys, that I want to just kind of break down and address. So, if we're looking at it from an ethical standpoint, and a standpoint of right from wrong, as adults, growing up, we should have acquired many lessons and examples and experiences from our parents and elderly folk that we were around on how we should act and carry ourselves. So in that standpoint, we didn't have to go to the Oscars as black people and create a scene like this. Ethical point, Will Smith is wrong for violence, for assaulting that man, for slapping that man in the face. By all means, violence is wrong on all levels. I understand everyone has a breaking point, but the law is the law, violence is violence, and fighting is violence, and assault is violence. And ultimately, that's what that was. Now, if we're also going to speak on what we have acquired and learned from our parents and growing up, is respect. And I think respect gets lost a lot of the times that we have experiences with people, friends, family, associates, or, just people out in the world on the daily. And in terms of respect, Chris Rock, you should have known, you didn't know that, this woman was suffering from alopecia. Okay, that is fine. We get that. But you chose this time to make jokes, after you have made many jokes about her in the past, to make another joke about her, calling her G.I. Jane, saying can't wait for G.I. Jane 2, which is insinuating her being bald. And I just think in that moment for Jada, she was already suffering the alopecia. That is hurtful. You did this live. And when we talk about respect, I'm tired of seeing black men in entertainment disrespect women on all levels, especially black women. I am. Even though, I'm a blogger and gossiper and all of that stuff, I do entertainment news. I have my opinions as well on women sometimes. And, I take accountability for that. But these are people that have major platforms, that have people watching them constantly. And I just think that Chris Rock, that was a poor joke. It was done in poor taste. It did not land at all. The joke did not land, and Jada did not see it funny. Now, given Will did chuckle, looked like he was laughing, but I believe that Will was laughing to cover up the anger that he may have had inside after the joke was made. Now, also, it wasn't until he probably looked at Jada and was like, oh, my wife is affected by this, and I already know what she's going through. And then, given what he has experienced in his movie role with King Richard and some of the things he had to endure throughout that movie role, you know, being the protector of those kids in the movie and understanding his role, and then understanding himself personally as a father and a husband, I just believe that they both were triggered in that moment. She was triggered from the joke, and he was triggered from seeing his wife hurt. And, you know, Will Smith and Jada has been in the news so many times regarding their relationship. We always want that Will and Jada love, but it was like over the years, do we really want that Will and Jada love? Because we don't know what's going on between them in their marriage. We hear about the entanglements and the infidelity, possible infidelity. We always hear the jokes about how Jada is still in love with Tupac. And, you know, they ran with some of those memes even after this incident at the Oscars. But I do believe that Chris Rock, you also owe her an apology, because you have spoken publicly about Jada before, about her being at the Oscars before, why is she at the Oscars, why is she boycotting the Oscars, as if she's not a skilled or talented actress and is not deserving of having one, or could even potentially have one in her career. Why would you diss her like that? And then you also dissed her from a medical condition that she's enduring and she's suffering from. It is an immune disorder at the end of the day. So I believe that that's why it transpired. Like I said, it was wrong for Will to do it, but I understand it. And I'm not faulting him for protecting his wife and standing up for his wife and making an example out of someone. And I don't believe that he's going to tolerate any more disrespect in regards to his relationship or his, you know, his family at all at this point. I believe we now see what the consequences can be. Now, a lot of comedians are upset at Will Smith because they feel like, wow, Chris Rock can't tell a joke. But what they're failing to realize is they're in a prestigious award place. These are black people, and a black woman was, you know, in my opinion, verbally assaulted by Chris Rock. And that might be a little tougher choice words that I use, but that's just how I feel. I just believe that she was attacked in that moment, and she was triggered. And when someone's dealing with a medical condition, you don't get to choose how someone reacts. And that's for all the comedians out there. So, I mean, we are living in a different day and age where we don't tolerate disrespect. Some things should be off limits. Like, y'all can make so many jokes about other stuff. Like, but when it comes to death or people's medical conditions or things of that nature, I just believe that it should be off limits. I do believe that. And so, sorry to say that Chris Rock had to be the one. Now, he did uphold a great amount of professionalism, and I commend him for that, because that was amazing on his part. He was a little slurry at the end when, after it happened, he was gagging that Will Smith slapped him. Yes, he did. He slapped you, sir. And he literally slapped the right words out of your mouth, because your next statement, you didn't even get the thing right. If y'all listen back to the clip, he didn't even get the words from the script right. I can't remember what he said. About to drop a documentary when he was supposed to say we're about to give out the award for best documentary, and you could tell he was a little shooketh. And it is what it is. And I love how Tyler Perry, Diddy, and Denzel and Samuel were all in support of Will Smith. Because this was a great night for Will. This was a night that he has been waiting for his entire life. He has been snubbed by the Oscars so many times, and he finally got his Oscar. He finally got his Oscar, and he deserved it. It was well deserved. So he also probably felt like, wow, I'm here to have a good night with my wife. I know I'm going to get this Oscar. I just feel it in my bones, and we're having to endure so much disrespect throughout the program, throughout the Oscars program, because there was many jokes made about her and Will throughout the night. So of course, I mean, I believe that, you know, physical violence is wrong on all parts, but I believe, I'm not going to say it was warranted. I'm just going to use my words carefully. I'm not going to say it was warranted, but I can justify Will Smith's actions by the content of, you know, what Jada is dealing with, and, you know, what he has to endure and what he's going through, and that night in particular for them, what it may have meant to the both of them. So, you know, the disrespect had to stop, and that's just what it is. So we don't know what's going on now. They're basically saying that the Oscars may take away his Oscar for Best Actor, but I do not believe that that's going to happen. I believe, you know, they made their statement, and they said there will be consequences. He may not be able to attend next year or a year after that, or for like a period of time, or he may just not be nominated for a period of time or something like that. But I do not believe they're going to take this man's Oscar away from him. They gave it to him on national TV. Taking it away from him will start a ruckus. And the Oscars already have a bad rep for how they treat African Americans. It would just not look good on their part. So I don't believe that that's what they'll do. And I also just want to point out the fact that a lot of people has made this, you know, this is their idea and this is the way they're thinking. They're basically thinking, you know, how we as black people, we have strived for so many years to be accepted by these white people who run the Oscars and the Grammys. And for this particular moment, for two African Americans to get up there and act the way that they did, and it was just like, will this set us back for many more years? Who's to know at this point? But I am ready to see what's going to happen with it, and I'm pretty sure that everybody else is ready to see what's going to happen as well. So that's the only word that I have on the Oscars for right now. A lot of celebrities have responded. The blogs have just ate it up. The memes are going crazy. It's still trending on all social medias. It's all up and down every timeline that I have, so I know it has to be up and down yours. Like, people are just making so much, you know, content from this one moment or one slap. But shout out to the King, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Make sure to check out his show, Bel-Air, on Peacock, you guys. It is amazing. I love the reimagining of Bel-Air. It is heating up. I'm pretty sure the first season is about to come to an end very shortly. I don't think they're going to probably have that many episodes in the first season. And they'll probably be back because they want to just keep us on our toes and just keep the series probably going for a little bit. So go ahead and get Peacock, get in. The first 8 or 9 episodes are out. Enjoy it. Don't try to think so much on the essence of the old Bel-Air, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There are some elements in there that are nostalgic for you. There are a lot of people that are returning from the old show, you know, the first series, the original series, and it's nostalgic still. But don't go into it thinking, oh, this didn't happen on Fresh Prince. It's a reimagining for today's time. And it still is the same essence of, you know, fooling around on the playground, got into it with a couple of guys, They were up to no good. Started making trouble in the neighborhood. Got in one little fight and my mom got scared. She said, moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air. You know, and that's just what it gives. It still gives the same plot. This man's still trying to find his way in a new city, new town. So don't go into it trying to compare. Go into it thinking, okay, this is reimagined for today's time. What the Fresh Prince today would look like, okay? But some other things, a lot of other celebrities were in attendance to the Grammys. So many people. You had Chloe Halle Bailey. They were both there. Beyonce was there. Her amazing performance with Be Alive. It was amazing. She was in Compton on a tennis court. So that was amazing to see. Blue Ivy was dancing beside her mother for her mother. Yes, she was. She's coming for her things. The Grammy Award winning Blue Ivy. The $1 million Blue Ivy. She's worth probably much more than $1 million now. You know? So, shout out to that. Billie Eilish, she took home the award. She beat out Beyonce for best soundtrack song or something like that. I love Billie Eilish too, so I was happy for her. I really wish Beyonce would have took it, because that's the only thing I feel like Beyonce is needing now is an Oscar. Lady Gaga has one, Adele has one. They have all of the everything, you know. They have an Oscar, they have a Grammy, and I want Beyonce to get hers, but in due time. So maybe she'll keep making these soundtrack songs here and there, and maybe for a bigger motion picture she'll get an Oscar. We'll just have to see. But other than that, the Oscars was definitely enjoyable. You know, this one moment, it's crazy that this one moment like really just it just set precedence over what the Oscars really was about, you know. So I'm just glad to see that there's so much opinions about this. You want to see different people's point of views, because a lot of people, you just don't know. You could be hanging with people and they be like, oh, I would have did the same shit too. You need to really reassess who you hang around at this point. If they thinking, hey, I'm gonna go up there and smack your ass too, you know, just be aware, you guys. The Oscars after party, the Vanity Fair Oscars after party, Will Smith, Kelly Rowland, Sierra, Zendaya, Normani, Megan Thee Stallion, and Tyler Perry, Rita Ora, Janelle Monáe, Serena Williams, Michael B. Jordan were also there. Kim Kardashian clears the air over her controversial work comments. So you guys can go and look that up on YouTube. It's all bullshit to me. I just don't believe that she has a genuine bone in her body, honestly. I just don't like the Kardashians and the Jenners at all. I don't like what they have done to black men over the years. Using black men and trying to capitalize off of them, making money off of them, having babies to make money off of them. I just don't like the Kardashian brand, and that's just how I feel. Madonna announces her new song with 070 Shake. She has new music in the works, and it is set to arrive shortly. We always are trying to figure out, okay, Madonna, what are you going to do now? Because at this point, all your music sounds the same. And she's addressed that before on Give Me All Your Love. She's like, every record sounds the same. Are you the one, shall we proceed? Something like that. But, you know, Madonna does have her own type of sound, right to say. Maybe that's just what she wants to be remembered for, you know, that particular type of sound. Let's see, what else I have on my list here. Dua Lipa said her album is 50% done. Miley Cyrus announces her first live album, and she shares the track list online. So we'll be having to look out for that. Chris Rock declines to file charges against Will Smith. Like I said earlier, they say that his Oscar may be repossessed due to the on-air assault, but I don't think that's happening. And Chris Rock is not going to file charges at this point. It already looks bad for him, given the circumstance, being slapped on live television. It's already embarrassing. So, with that being said, I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to go that route, suing another black man over being assaulted. He's going to probably handle it a different route. They are saying that Will Smith will be doing a live Red Table Talk with Jada. That is going to be in the works this week to be recorded, and that might be released by next week or week after next. So we'll see what's his first press run he's going to do about this. We don't know. His first press stop, let's say that. Because they said that he declined all press and he got out of there last night to make sure he didn't have to speak to no press. Latto and Mariah Carey, Big Energy remix. First off, I want to say Big Latto's album, fire. Fire, fire, fire. You guys go download it. 777, lucky sevens. She's the Latto. I love the theme. The music, amazing. She has a record up there called Sunshine with Lil Wayne and Childish Gambino. It's going to go crazy. She has a song called It's Giving, and it kind of gives a bop for the gays and the girls in the club, It's giving. And then she has Santana on the end of it. He's not rapping. He doesn't have a verse, but he's like doing ad-libs in the background talking his shit, Then she has another song with Turk. I love that song. What is it? Fuck You Like a Thug. I love that. Love that song. That's how I be feeling. Sometimes I fuck you like a thug. But back to Big Energy remix. They finally released that. Big Energy is Mulatto's biggest hit. It is still on the charts right now, stable, and it seems like even pop music listeners love it. The pop audience love her song too. So maybe this can be another number one for Mariah. We're not sure. But the Oscars definitely overshined the release of Big Energy remix. Nobody started talking about it till late. But I can check now on iTunes as we speak in real time and see where it landed. It went to number one. Finally, Big Energy remix went to number one on iTunes. Now, DJ Khaled, he did produce the beat. I don't know why they got to go and call DJ Khaled every time. I felt like they could have kept it. Because, Mariah just redid her first verse on Fantasy. And I didn't like the way the vocals sounded. She still sounded great. Don't get me wrong. But I just didn't like the way the vocals sounded. It just sounded so computerized. Her two whistles sounded so computerized as well. But that's Mariah Carey. I love her. I don't have much bad to say about her. I don't never say nothing bad about Mariah Carey. It's just a different era, and we're just going to have to accept it. She's not going to have the same voice she had when she was young. So I'm moving on from that. I love you, Mariah, but it's sitting at number one pretty on iTunes right now. So this could be Mariah's chance to go number one again for her 20th number one. And she'll still be in the league because I think Rihanna has 16 or 17. So hopefully that comes. Dune, the movie Dune won a lot of awards last night. That was crazy to see. Oh, let's speak about this. Megan Thee Stallion doing the remix to We Don't Talk About Bruno. And she's up there rapping about her pussy. Talking about We Don't Talk About Bruno. This is a kid's song. Yeah, adults know it too because they kids watch it, or they might have been forced to watch it. But child, this is a kid's song ultimately. It's an animation movie. Animations are for kids, in my opinion. In my opinion, don't get offended at what I say or how I feel or what I think, you guys. That's just my opinion. It is what it is. But yeah, she was up there singing, rapping about that. I didn't think it was cute. It was ghetto. And it was not needed. Lady Gaga's Poker Face powers to the top of iTunes nearly 14 years after its release. Nicki Minaj has extended her run with the most number ones on iTunes with We Go Up. It just went number one on iTunes not too long ago when it released. She did a surprise release on Friday, on Pink Friday, in that morning time. It didn't release till the morning time. So that was amazing. All of our queens that was in our time, if you're a millennial like me, our girls are still breaking records. They're still out here doing their thing. So I'm glad to see that. I hate that Lady Gaga was snubbed at the Oscars. I hate that Beyonce was robbed. The Beehive went in, child. They went in about that. They was mad. As they should be. But it is what it is. We're sorry that it happened. Like I said, we just got to keep pushing and keep striving for our black people and our culture. We'll get there. Beyonce will get it one day. So we'll just keep supporting. But for now, you guys, that's all I really want to talk about with Hot Topics. I'm really getting tired because all it is surrounding the Oscars, and a lot of people want to know what happened with the Oscars. So I had to come in and report it as well. I wanted to be the first one on it too, as well as everybody else. I will be uploading this episode to YouTube as well, so you guys check it out on all platforms. I'm going to play some music, and then I'll come back for a last segment to talk to you guys for a little bit about life. Alright, I love you guys, and check out the music. What's goody? Alright, so you guys, y'all got into my first segment. I gave y'all the hot topics right then and there because we couldn't hold it. I could not hold it for another segment to not just talk about what we had to talk about. We talked about the Oscars. I talked about some other artists, some other entertainment news. So you guys, rewind if you did not catch it. I want to shout out to all of my Spotify premium members. If you have a Spotify account and you have the premium membership, you're able to listen to my songs in its full entirety through Spotify, which is the music engine you'll be listening to if you're listening directly on Spotify. If you're listening on other platforms, you'll hear my episode that has uncopyrighted music. I just want to remind you guys of that. And I think my other countries love that I do that for them too, so they can still have music. Now, the title will always have without music. That means that the episode does not have copyrighted music, but it still includes music in there, whether it's mixtape music or music that can be shared through copyright. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I want to make sure that I make my podcast interactive like it's my own show, and hopefully Spotify picks me up. I got all of my social media handles back, you guys, on Twitter. My Twitter that has almost 5,000 followers, I got it back, my original Twitter, which is just TURKBISH straight. Now, I do have 2 other Twitter profiles. I do plan on moving some things around, making one of them Talk with Turk page. I'm not sure which one yet, but I will look into that. But if you want to follow all my other handles, I have another Twitter that has TURKBISH_. Then there's another one that's TURKBISH__. So 3 of them. So you guys just follow me on one of them or all of them, and support me. My Twitter, my Instagram is just TURKBISH. My Snapchat is just TURKBISH, and I always put them at the bottom of my episodes so that you guys will know. Okay? So I want to shout out to all of my listeners out in Russia, Germany, Turkey, Sweden, the U.S. Shout out to all of you guys for listening and your continued support. I really am appreciative of all of you guys, especially the country Turkey. And that's because my nickname was Turk, and I think that's why I'm constantly charting. And I had to put out 2 episodes this week. I'm probably going to put out another one by the end of this week because I have it's just like I have a burst of energy and I have a burst to just get things done. and I'm appreciative for that moment right now. And I want everybody to know out there, just because something doesn't happen for you doesn't mean that it won't, and doesn't mean that something that is meant for you won't happen. That doesn't mean that it won't happen for you, okay? So just make sure that you guys are constantly working on whatever you guys are working on. If you're just working a 9 to 5, make sure you're putting your all into your job. Make your money, make your coins, you'll move up. If you have something on the side that you do, a side business, make sure that you're putting your all into it. Whatever you do, as far as a trade, like if you do nails, eyelashes. And speaking of that, I have a lot of people that I know and friends, associates, people that I'm not cool with no more, that I will, just shout them out real quick. I am friends with my homegirl Michelle, Nails by Shell. You guys check her out on Instagram, nails.byshell. You guys can follow her, get your nails done. She does nails. She also went to school for doing hair. So you guys maybe can look into it with her for hair. I know someone else who does nails, the Nail Bay. You guys can check him out. I have a friend that has Punker Punch Essentials. You guys can check him out on Instagram, Ty. He's amazing. Love his spirit, love his energy, and I love what he's doing. So make sure you guys check out these small businesses. Shout out to Live with Table Talk. You guys check out my friend Ashman's podcast on Facebook. You can follow them guys on Facebook. I love what they're doing. Shout out to them in the podcast world. Shout out to everyone else on my Facebook that has started podcasts in the past year, past few months. I am proud to see that we are moving into a great direction of podcasting, because it's the next big thing, and it's better to join on the wave than to try to avoid the wave and just be oversaturated with it when it becomes popular. So make sure that you guys are just checking in on different things, seeing if you like it or not. If you don't like it, you don't have to listen again. Or you don't have to participate again, but just check out new things, because you never know if you'll like something. So I just want to leave you guys with that. Like I said, thank you for the continued support. It just does not go unnoticed, and you guys are amazing. Remember that, okay? I'll be back later on this week with some more tea, some more entertainment news, some more gossip, some more motivational speaking, and I'm probably going to have some guests in the next few weeks, so you guys stay tuned to that, okay? So, don't forget, do you want the tea? Well, simply talk with TURKBISH. Just talk with me.